People really need you. Even if you're not the leader in a situation, even if you're not, socially somebody who people come to for approval or come to for this or that, you're still needed, because everything around us is just social constructions, and it requires either a leader or somebody to witness. That they're necessary. Just like a product can only be successful if people buy it, right? And you got to understand that everybody has a responsibility as far as taking that into account, and to not take it for granted the role that we have in this life. Even though things and social media and what we're sold makes you believe that life is just meaningless and life is about just buying this and that and the other. The real issue is that some of us actually go and believe that, and we let go. We sell ourselves so short on the importance of being who we are, and we removed any importance from it. We've detached any importance that we gave to our emotions, our perspective, and the social interactions which we have. And we started to believe at some point that that's just fairy tales, that love is fairy tales, that trust is something which just exists in movies and books, and we walk around every day just trying to chase what somebody else told us to do, right? And we're so confused, and that's what creates pain. That's why you see that the moral of the collective is so crazy right now, and it's just getting worse. But you have to understand that there's a perspective, there's a way that you look into the world, and that is only available to you. And if you're the only one who can see it, if you're the only one who has it, and if everything else that you could chase, everything else that you could protect, every other perspective that you could go and buy into isn't as valuable to you as that, because of how scarce it is. If you were to just understand that, if you just to realize that you don't have to make all these efforts to try to shape the way you view life to make it fit what other people tell you should see, that if you just protected what by definition exists just in a small portion to you, that was given to you, that the reason why you've been waking up all these years and you're still the same person, you there's still an essence, there's still a center which is still you, and that part of you is not something which you can control, because if you did control it, you would have picked you every single time. You would have picked to be the same person every single day. I don't think you would have. Rare is if we're honest with ourselves, rare is the amount of people that would do that. But if we get to understand that honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, the real thing which only us can do is to protect what was given to us, that we don't force, that we wake up every day and start to move into, but we know that at some point we tap into something else. We know that at some point when we meet people, or when we go online, or when we do XYZ, we start to move differently. Now we change energy, because we're not anchored into that. And all this might seem super abstract, but some people out there know what I'm talking about, and this is for them. There's a few, and even if it's one, you have to be still. And to be still is not to try to control, but it's to allow things around you to be what they are, and then you will be able to just allow life to gravitate to. It's like sand in the water that is just all over the place. That's what it is when you go into life trying to understand, how does this person view life? How does this person view life? And maybe I should buy into that and buy into that and buy into that. And that's what we do. That's why we buy into all these brands. That's why we're trying to get all these different merchandise, all these different merchandises. And it's crazy, because I'm not even saying that I didn't do that. I'm not saying that I didn't fall into that, but I'm saying to you as somebody who did. And if you just realize that you're being played, and that if everything around you is an idea which is somebody else's, you have no control over it. And that's what we suffer so much, is because what constructs things around us, the things that we keep buying into, are not coming from us. It doesn't originate from us. And if you have no control over it, how are you gonna have control over your life if everything that you see was like comes from somebody else? How are you gonna get yourself to do what you should be doing if you view the world how somebody else views it? Because they see the world the way they do, because it is beneficial to who they are. You understand? It is necessary for the survival of who they are. And that's the key point, is that to have that, to understand that the only way that will survive, that perspective, which is you, the only way in how you can have a meaningful life and to have intimacy in your life, and to have people care about who you are, and to experience things which are beautiful in life. It doesn't have to be all dark, but that relationship that you have with the relationship that you have with you, and that origin, that's which I was talking about earlier. It will dictate every other relationship that you have, because what's in common between all those relationships is always you. And that's a big deal. It's like, it's fundamental. But we don't talk about this. We distract ourselves with other things, and it's just about asking yourself some questions. It's to ask yourself, well, really, like, truly, really, would you really wish to have these possessions, or would you really wish to have things in your life which matter, to experience certain elements of life, like love and intimacy and something which is real. And you just have to ask yourself this. I'm not even saying that you should pick one or the other. I'm just saying that you have to make a choice, and I just want you to make it as a conscious one, as a conscious choice, one that you pick. And if you pick the stuff and you want the car and the this and that over the other stuff, go for it, cuz. Like, just go for it. But if you feel it in here that what you want is not that if you're true to yourself, that you want something else, don't waste your life like that. Because it's gonna cost you, and you're gonna make a bunch of decisions which are fueled by this. Because actions always comes from perspective. Actions will always be pushed by some type of narrative, some type of picture which is painted. Don't let somebody else paint it for you, because it will benefit them. And you can see it throughout history. That's how wars go. That's how people push people to do this, to do that, to go die in a field, in a place that they've never seen, to shoot at people they've never met, based on a story they don't even fact check, or they don't even care for. And it comes from a place that we want meaning in our life. We want to live for something. We want to be part of something. But that something doesn't have to be somebody else's perspective. That something can be something which truly means to you. And it is scary. It requires courage, and it's necessary. There's always be a risk. Love is never a certainty. And that's what it is. That's what all of this is. It's love. And it's just that you have to love yourself, and to live by that perspective, to live by that point that is you, to live by that origin, that place which only you have access to. And if you sit there and you're still, you can go back to it, and you can trace, when did you start to pivot from it? When did you start to sway away? And it'll come back. Like, and if you can just do that and you live through it, then life will change. Life will change, because now it will start to make sense. Now you can take decisions which bring you peace, which make you realize that if you don't have that, everything else doesn't make sense. And it was always there. It's just that you know, you sort of just tried to look everywhere else, you know. It was always there. And yeah, so that's what I would suggest, is just to practice stillness. Pray. That's what prayer is. You practice stillness, and you practice a connection. And prayer will allow you to let go of everything else, to let go of everything which is around you. And it feels weird because you're standing there doing pretty much nothing. It's to do nothing, right? It's to let go of control and to give this time to something which is bigger than your ego, because ego needs to be fueled. And yeah, I hope that you can, do that. Some people, it's hobbies, right? Some people find a hobby, and for them it kind of falls into the same thing. If you think about it, it's a sort of prayer, because you're just doing something which you get nothing out of, right? But you get the experience of doing it, and it's in a certain way you're able to let go and to allow yourself to be yourself in the moments without anybody watching or anything. And that's necessary. So I hope this video wasn't too long. I hope it was valuable to people watching, and thank you for your time.